And we're back with some Astro Colony. Now, I saw this game and I thought to myself, you know what? This game looks like a game I could start playing, burn 20 hours in it, maybe 30 tops, and then be done with it. I really don't want a game right now that's going to suck up a whole month of my life. So, let's just have a quick look at this thing. Oh, yeah, I think we'll be skipping lots of this parts. Right, so we've got our pep talk, and now we are getting saluted out. Well, that feels very melodramatic. Right, we're just going colonizing, guys. It's not a gladiatorial arena style thing. Or at least I hope it's not. Okay, then. Let's see. Nice platform. And where are you going? Where's the ship going? You literally just dumped us on a platform in the middle of nowhere in space and then just buggered off without even making sure we're going to be okay. That doesn't seem very safe. Alright, I'm just gonna go have a quick look through this tutorial bit. So it seems just like every other game, you go and chop down trees, though this version of trees is basically lumps of asteroid. Great. Well, at least we don't have to build the whatchamacallit. Oh, I think I just turned on the gravity boots. There's gravity boots in this game. If you turn them on, you just start falling through space. I don't know what gravity boots are grabbing onto, but... Oh, yay, there's handcrafting. Wonderful. Yeah, well... Iron bar by hand, copper bar by hand. Easy peasy. Right, and we can also make wire, copper wire. Okay, right. Basic crafting stuff. We're going to be doing some automation in a bit, I presume. Okay, now let's deal with your basic need of breathing. You think they would have left us some oxygen before, they went? Oh my god, check the oxygen meter in the bottom left-hand corner. Yep, we got oxygen all right. Maybe we should figure out some way of getting more of that. So, best I can figure out, at the start, all you need to survive is oxygen. No food, anything like that. So you just plop down this machine, you put ice in it, you plop down this machine, you put carbon ore in it, run a wire between the two, and then you can pop over here anytime you want and go, hey, I would like oxygen, and you can refill ice. Use ice to refill oxygen tank. Doesn't refill it the whole way, you have to hit it a few times, but done. Now, to do your research, you go into this thing, and there seems to be a lot of research. But every time you go near one of these rock things, come here you start hitting it, every so often it goes, get some free basic research. And no, not that time, of course. There's one. There we go, basic science. Anything else? Come on, give me some more basic science. I think we're going to research this asteroid catcher and see what it does for us. What other research we got? We got 15 more basic science. You know what, smelting and a booster? Sure, why not? Let's just start laying these down and see what we can get into. I want to try and skip past all of this early stuff and just get into building lots of stuff. Well, we figured out how to harvest asteroids a bit. We build these things, we pop in, and we tell it, hey, grab that asteroid over there, let's say. And then it dumps the asteroid inside it and starts mining it, at which point we can come over and grab the resources. Now, each asteroid doesn't give you its own unique stuff, as in it's not going to be just an iron asteroid or just an ice asteroid. They all seem to contain a little bit of everything. So you're going to get a mismatch of parts in there. And most of the carbon just goes into this thing, most of the ice goes into this thing, and we're processing the rest. I might want to turn off that iron bar production. Yeah, we're kind of turning all our iron bars, or iron plate into whatever that is. Iron bars into iron plates? Never mind. There's a whole tech through here, and we just basically plow through it by mining asteroids so far. Until you get up to this level. This level here, robotics, manufacturing, all this stuff seems to require slightly higher, more advanced laboratory science. It's that little weird symbol thing there. So we need to produce one of those while manually mining everything to hopefully get to the automated catching so that we don't have to manually go around catching all the asteroids so we can start automating this stuff. Because otherwise it's just running around catching asteroids all day. So, this is the science lab. It takes 5 power. Oh, wait. This is the power projection. It produces 10 power. 1 of it goes towards running oxygen. 2 of it goes towards each one of those, so that's 5 power. And then the last 5 power goes towards running this crafting thing. Basically, it takes iron bars and copper bars and spits out the engineering science, or level 2 science. So basically, we use these two to grab in as much raw resources as we can, which we then hand smelt up. We've actually got some gold. I don't know what we're going to do with that, but we'll figure it out. And then once you've smelted them up, you turn them into science to get the next level of tech. And once you get the next level of tech, you can hopefully start automating all of this boring stuff. There's a bunch of junk in here in the middle, which doesn't seem that useful. Like the cosmic harpoons and stuff I'll have to play around with. But realistically, what we really want to get to is auto asteroid catcher, which, yeah, that's going to require a little bit more science. We'll grab out construction, actually. And then we can start working on this. It requires 5 regular science and 6 of the advanced stuff. So we're 1 shy. Anyone want to guess that last science? Automated catching complete. Now we just need to get a bunch of bars together and make this thing. And it's probably going to require more power. We might actually have to go with a hydrogen generator, though that would... you know what? We'll worry about that when the time comes. Right, so this is the easier way to do it, it seems. You get the automated miners. The automated miners mine all this stuff for you. You then grab it out. And then what I was originally doing was just letting our handcrafting go to town. Just letting that go ham. But here's the thing. It takes 4 iron ingots to make 1 iron bar. Where is it? Oh, yes, over here. It takes you, 4 iron ingots to make 1 iron bar, but if we make ourselves a smelter, it only takes 3 iron ingots to make 1 iron bar, which means we're far better off dumping all of our raw ores in here. We get more productivity out of it, and we get more bars at the end of the day. Alright then, now we just got to expand this out quite a bit. Actually, how is our research looking? Yeah, we're going to need a whole bunch of those weird head-looking things, so I'm thinking we expand our production out, and then maybe do a little bit of automation here. See, we have gotten our hands on transport belts, if I recall. Where were they? Ah, logistics belts. So what we should be able to do, in theory, is run logistic belts from here to the smelter, and then the smelter can just spit out the ores as we get them. And that means we can just keep expanding and expanding. But we're going to need more power as well. Give me a few more minutes here to put something together. So it turns out you can, like, pull large planetoids towards you. I think I should have done this a while back as one of the lower down techs. Because these things, from what I've been able to tell, have large amounts of resources on them, which is easier than harvesting the asteroids. Asteroids are the slow income. These things are like those things you get early on that give you a massive influx of cash. So if we go up here, I flew over to one just to see, and you can basically start mining these things. This thing has 40 iron ore in it. That one has 28. That one has 28. That one has 27. That one's 27. There's just bunches of ore tied up in all of these. So we can harvest those to kickstart our industry. So by the time you strip mine the local planetoid, whatever, land platforms, you should have, 5 or 6 of these asteroid collectors, which will then tide you over for the rest of the game. Or, well, get you into the next part of it. Because I was just finding it very slow to grind up the necessary resources to start expanding the platform and really putting down a proper factory. We made a few changes to the system and set up some very, very basic automation just to speed things along a bit. These things here suck down all of the minerals, they spit them out onto this conveyor belt. The carbon gets filtered out here, there's like a little pusher thing, and all the carbon gets dumped over here onto our good old friend transport belts. And it gets dumped into these carbon reactors. We put in a splitter there, so that's where all the carbon goes. Then the ice comes along here, and we shunt that into this thing, which makes water. I haven't actually figured out what I'm going to do with that water yet. You know what? I'll worry about it later. Then at the end here, we've got this thing which takes in all of the ores. We just dump all the ores into this at the very end, and the ores get turned into metal bars, which we pick up. Done. Now I just got to figure out how to do something with this water. Okay. Yeah, I think I've got this down a little bit, or at least the basics. This is the very basic starting stuff. These things here pull in all the resources. They chuck them out onto the transport belts. Carbon gets fed into our load-balanced power production thing. All the carbon in here, it's perfect. All of them should end up with about roughly the same amount, 40, 41. How are you looking? Yeah, so it's all split evenly between all of those. That power runs everything here, and it also runs all of the machines over this section. The ice gets turned into water, we'll cover that in a minute, and all the remaining ores that end up down the end of the transport belt, they all get turned into bars for us to pick up right here. So, this is water. Water, it seems, is what ice is made... Well, it's made from ice, right? But it doesn't seem like this thing stores any. As in, the moment it gets ice, it just turns into water. If there's storage for the water, great. If there's no storage, well, tough. Then it pops down here, and you can turn it into hydrogen cells, or it pops down over here where it can get turned into oxygen tanks. We have a lot of oxygen tanks here for some reason. I think that's used for oxygenating your character, but we'll worry about that later. Actually, let's get a quick top up. And then all of the metal bars are producing, and they just keep coming. This we've chucked in here, and now we're doing a bunch of research. It takes 2 of each, well, 2 iron, 2 copper bars, and then that churns you out the research, and that basically starts moving us towards the next section. Important bit, though, is engines. There is a whole engine tech here, and it says, build thrusters to move your colony through the space. And docking. System connected to space colony planets to others. It is required for astronauts travel. We'll grab that too. What's parts? In fact, what I'm really interested in here is solar energy. I would like to get my paws on that, though. Walls and chemistry science? Well, that requires dirt, which we get from mining planets. Yeah, I think we're going to grab this, and then walls, and then chemistry, and then it's on to the more advanced stuff. What I really need to do is, well, get a lot of wire, and then use that to hook up a mine to this place. I haven't even bothered mining this because we're pulling in so much resources. But I want to somehow anchor this to our colony so that when we start driving away, we take that with us. And then we're probably going to grab that thing, and I'm pretty sure there's more places around here. Is that a... Ooh, gold asteroid. And there's more places over there. Yeah, we want to start pulling in everything that's around here and then start mobily... Then we want to start moving around and grabbing them all. After doing a bit more research and playing around, I've decided that that island over there needs to become part of our biological distinctiveness over here. So, what we're going to do is put down a docking station. Turns out this is what allows you to pull planets towards you. Let's see, you can go... And we'll probably move this at a later date, but there's one set up. Now we need to put one over here on this thing. Yeah, that looks perfect. Then we just pop back over here, and I'm not sure if it moves us or the island. You, dock. And I believe it's moving the island towards us. Perfect. Then we just have to start... actually, no. We're moving towards the island. Right. Maybe we should go over and grab that one while we're at it. No. First, I have to start setting up mining drills on these things. These things just have so much resources in them, and I think a mining drill would be our best bet for extracting them efficiently. I mean, don't get me wrong. This does a fair bit of mining for us, but we could definitely speed things along. The core thing about this, as far as I can tell, is early on, to get your science, you just have to mine rocks. Right? And that means all the early science is just easy to get. You just mine stuff, you get the rocks and the science, and you get your resources you need to start going through the tech tree and building up the stuff. But then once you get onto the layer 2 science, you have to start feeding this thing iron and copper bars. And if you don't feed it iron and copper bars, you don't get your science for the next levels. So you need a good input of iron and copper. And I think what they want you to do is pull in these places here and strip mine them because they're quite heavily ored. Or we could just double down the production just a little bit there. So what we've done is we've got 5 things here. Those 5 miners are pulling in the resources, and then we just sort of sandwich this all in here. 3 power plants to power the whole thing. 1 refinery over here that, well, gives us all of our iron, copper, ingots and all that stuff, refines it all down. And 1 thing here for oxygen that we don't really need, but it gets the ice off the line, so why not? That is all sort of self-contained, self-powered, and does the job. So now all we have to do is maybe expand this on a little bit. You see, one of the things we managed to knock out was blueprints. This is a technology you can get. And blueprints allows you to, well, go into the blueprint designer and you can build all the stuff you want here. And what we've done is we've already done up a blueprint of that over there. So if we place this down just right, come on, I think that might be perfect. And done. Ooh, that guy is just off the edge. We need to put a little bit more floor on this end. Does this thing even need a floor? Well, anyway, this is basically going to increase our production by 1/3. We'd already doubled our production. This is increase it by another 1/3, or, well, we'll be tripling our basic production that we started with. And then we can use this to make more resources to make, well, a 4th, and then a 5th, and then a 6th. I want to see just how quickly we can scale this up to something stupidly oversized. Oh, we have to bootstrap it, though, because it doesn't have any of this in it. There is no carbon in it just yet, so we'll just go along to all of these and say we would like to rip out all the carbon you're not using. Thank you. Nice. Oh, and before we start this up, there is one thing that the blueprints can't keep. They can't actually modify these things, so you have to set this up manually afterwards. I know that's going to mess me up later. Yep. Done. Then all we do is we come in here. We fill those 3 up with a little bit of carbon to get them started, and they start mining. And then shortly we should see resources start to flow down here. Any second now? Yeah, there we go. There's our first customers now. And now this thing is all set up, and we have double production. Now I just gotta make, ooh, I don't know, like 4 or 5 more of these should cover us, I'd say. Okay, even I have to admit, that looks pretty damn cool. Alright. This, though, was, it was slower than you might anticipate. You see, what they do to slow you down, or what the game dev seems to have done, is they've made it so that floor tiles are expensive. Each one of these tiles costs you 1 iron plate. An iron plate you produce over here, it'll cost you 1 iron bar will produce 2 iron plates. However, you need to smelt that iron bar up, and then you need to stick it into this thing, and it takes a long time, and each one of those is worth it. Like, I mean, the cost of the buildings is less than the cost of the floor of making this, which is kind of mental. So, what I kind of figured out about part of the way through was, you could just blueprint it without the floor, and then it'll work. You can just, like, this entire thing is just hovering in midair. We needed some flooring so that we had something to target the blueprint on, but once it's down, this whole thing is functioning without a floor. It's just sort of hovering in space. And I mean, it is space, so this kind of works. I mean, I don't know if it's technically an exploit or not, but it definitely makes it far cheaper to expand. We now have, well, 5 mini setups, 5 by 5, so it's 25 of those space miners, and they're all feeding into smelters, and the smelters all feed at the back here, which then goes down to our base warehouse. According to the descriptor on this, you can use this to build. Even if it's not on your inventory, you'll pull from it. Well, that's the description on the device. For example, base warehouse. You can store your resources here and use them directly when constructing. That seems convenient. So what we've done is we've run a transport belt all the way down here to send all of our iron bars into the section, or all of our bars. Now, it's a little bit over capacity. As you can see, this place is slowly accumulating bars. Now you will grab as well. So I think 4 sections or 4 replications of this, as in 20 miners, should almost saturate a belt. Otherwise, we're just wasting a little bit of production. Oh, and we have all the oxygen we could ever want right there. So I'm thinking we put a second row down here, but make it 4, well, make 4 rows of 5 miners, and we'll just lay it down here. Now, I did make a slight change to this one. I've swapped out the oxygen production facility for something a little, the one that makes water. There we go. You can go right about... Oop. Nope, forward a bit, forward a bit. There, yeah. And done. Huh. And then let's just stick down the next one if we can. I think this might take me a minute or two. But this is faster definitely than laying them by hand. Well, that actually took about a minute. I'm just trying to make sure all of them are lined up correctly. I think they are. Is that done? Huh. Yep. Hover platform, all finished. Now, though, I still have to go along here and set all of these up. This is for ice, this is for something else. This is a little bit time-consuming, but I'm presuming they're going to patch out some of this more monotonous drone work later on. That's way better. Look at that. Well, we didn't quite double up the production there again, but we definitely increased production substantially, and now we have a second belt of raw ingots coming in here. It's not quite as fast as the other one. Oh, and over here we've got the water getting put into these water tanks. What is that at? 205. I'll have to link all those water tanks together somehow, but for now, we at least have a source of water. This is quite handy to do, and we should probably plug this into our grid. As in, if we connect... I want to connect all of these together because they're actually generating quite an excess of power as well with all of that carbon going around. So you just go across here, please. Done. And then I just got to make sure all of the other grids are connected together. Now that we have a nice sustainable source of iron coming in that's just going to keep going forever and ever and ever, we can start really hammering out the science. So, yeah, we'll get 500 science from that by sticking in 1,000 iron bars apiece, and we should have more than enough iron bars to replace it when the time comes. So, science time, I suppose? We can pretty much knock out everything that doesn't require that dirt science. So, hangars can go, vertical construction, aluminum, colonist training... Oh god, what else is there? Transport tubes? No, we can get biology, decoration, space science. Alright, again, I'm just going to start knocking all of these out as best we can, and we'll see what it unlocks and what we get to play around with. I don't think I'm going to have time to get all the way to... Ooh, Stargate. Black holes? Fusion energy? Okay, there's some good stuff I would really like to get to. To move on with the next section of tech, we're going to need to get in some scientists. But I think we need to go to a planet first so that we can get some... food to grow. We've no food on this place, so I don't know how our characters survived this long. They're probably just surviving off, I don't know, water or something? Whatever. But down there is a planetoid. And we have set up a bunch of thrusters here. Now, the first thing that confused me was when I plugged in the thrusters, all that happened was we moved forward, and I had no way of figuring out how we could go down towards that thing down there. And then I finally clicked on the damn things, and you can actually set the thrusters up here to determine what direction they push you in. In fact, let's go slightly that direction, maybe? Give us a bit of a tilt. Then I still have to actually move the rest of them. Yeah, there we go. Be fine. We'll get there slowly but surely. Right now, we can't really die. We're harvesting everything we need to keep going. So we've sort of hit that point where we could literally walk away and come back to extremely full storages. Assuming storages do have a fill point somewhere. Oh, and over here, we've taken one line and we've fed it into these things, the crafters, so that we can make plates. So we're making iron plate, copper plate, and, well, probably gold plate. It's all going in here. And the lines are pretty full, and we are just swimming in resources. Well, all the basic stuff. Now we just want to get down to this planet, see if it's got any good stuff, and then maybe start going into the higher end resources like there's quartz, aluminum, and something else, but we haven't actually got into those yet. Maybe. Just give us a bit of time. Once we get down to that planet, we'll know more. It looks like there is ways to change the direction of your ship with, like, there's later control panels and stuff you can get, but for now, we just gotta do it the manual way, and hopefully don't crash too hard into that thing. Yeah, I think we're going to need to do some steering here. Damn it, very manual turning the power on and off sort of steering. But hey, it's working. We're getting there, slowly but surely. I think we're just about ready to park up here. Huh. You, sever that. Power switches would be nice. Let's explore. Hopefully there's something here that's worthwhile. We visited a planet. Oh, and it turns out it's much easier to find planets if you just sort of go in here. 1 second, we'll go to our first station. And then there's this planet over here, this planet, this one, that one, the other one. But we are at this planet now, and we can even see what resources it's got. Copper, titanium, and uranium. Actually, let's do a little scan, shall we? Ooh, lots of resources everywhere. We could set up mines and stuff to do that, but I'm not sure I'm that bothered. All I want is the good stuff while we're here. To try and dock ourselves with this planet, we've put a docking bay down there, and up here, it's just, I'm not sure. Ooh. Yep, it actually does work. It's moving the entire thing, including all of the asteroids, the mining, everything. Right, let's start tearing this planet apart. I assume we can rip it apart for resources. Let's see what this is useful for. Well, considering how best to exploit this natural resource of ours that we have found, I sort of run into a problem. It's the same one we were sort of running into over here. To power all of this, we're using all of the carbon that comes in. Well, I've sort of started messing around with siphoning off some of the carbon to run other things by having this here. Turns out we only need about half the carbon that's coming in. The other half of it, we're actually sending on a splitter to get stored over there. So we have got a way to siphon off carbon and store it, but I would like a more energy-independent approach to this. The best energy source, as far as I can tell, would probably be nuclear power, but that's a bit further down the line, and we need a bunch of tech for that. However, there's one tech we've already got access to that's actually okay, solar. 3 pieces of gold wire, and you can build a solar panel, and it gives you 1 power, which is pretty weak. You need, like, this thing produces 10. So we would need 30 solar panels to make this work, and gold-wise, we don't have a lot. We have about 105 bars in storage from all of the mining. Actually, we've got 111 plates as well. But the way it worked out is this. We get 1 piece of gold, we smelt it, or 2 pieces of gold, we smelt them in a smelter. That'll give us 1 gold bar. Then we take that and we turn it into a plate, and that gold plate actually gives us 1 gold plate, or is it 2? Oh, never mind. Then we get that and we feed it into here and we get gold wire out, 2 pieces of gold wire. And then we take 3 of those and we turn them into the solar panel. So all we need is thousands of gold, just thousands and thousands of gold ore. And that's where this map thing came along, and we have located this second landmass, which has 14,000 pieces of gold, which should allow us to produce about 4,600 solar panels, 4,600 power, which should solve all of our power problems for the foreseeable future. Now, I've went over there and put on a docking thing, though kind of worried that when we do dock this, something's going to crash into each other, so let's hope it doesn't. Opposite dock is too far. That's fine. We have plenty of engine power to get us there. What are we at? We're already set forward. All right, let's go. Bit of a YOLO. I probably shouldn't have put on 3 engines at the same time. It's fine. It's fine. That has got to be close enough. Okay, let's do this. Dock us. Okay. I love that we're docking a giant planetoid with another giant planetoid. And done. Okay, now where is all of your juicy, juicy gold? It's the whole reason we came here. Ooh, okay, there's the gold. Damn, that's a lot of gold. 14,000 of this stuff? That is going to take us forever to mine through. We're going to have to set up in just industrial quantities of mining. And then we're going to convert it all into a massive solar farm to power this entire stupid factory over here. Well, I know I should be getting on with some of the sciencey stuff. I just had to get this gold mining started. There is one weird thing, though. I tried running a power wire from our core base to this island, and it won't work. As in, you can get the power wire right here, but it doesn't seem to line up. You need an independent power source for each island. I even just Googled it. Yep. You can't transfer power from this island to any others. They're all separate, independent little colonies of their own. So what I did was, this place has coal, or carbon or whatever, so I just set up a little, some mining rigs over here. They rip the carbon out of the ground, they dump it into these, and they provide the power to the rest of the island. And then we've got just gold miners. So you can see where this one has dug down rather deeply. In fact, I think that one might be finished. Yeah, it's got 65 gold in there. This one over here has got 22. These are pretty new, though. And what are you up to? Yeah, 121. But over this section, we founded another little gold colony. There's actually a couple of branches down here, and you can see them just slowly churning through it. And this place is pretty rich with gold. So over here, we've got 556 ingots, 586. Over here, we got 136. Oh, I think they've strip mined this entire area. Good job for you. 485, 368. Right, then we just rip these out and replace them somewhere else. That really is just super pretty, watching it rip everything out of the sky like that. We have just polluted this place in drills to rip up as much of the gold as we possibly can. That's all we're here for, is the gold. Everything else can stay. That's all we care about. And then we just made this tiny little factory back here. Its only purpose is to produce gold wire. It's actually pretty straightforward. We just chucked a container here. We chuck all the gold ore into it after we rip it out of the miners over there, because we can't. I don't think you can get the ores over here with a transport belt, and even if we could, we were mining them too fast. You'd need several transport belts. Then they just get shunted into these two smelters. Those smelters turned it into the gold bars. The gold bars turned it into the gold plate. The gold plate is then put in here and turned into the golden wire. And then we're just going to grab all that golden wire, and we're going to go over here and we're going to install some solar panels. We're going to install a lot of solar panels right about here. Each batch of that is 48 power, which is almost 5 of those furnace things we've got over there. So that's 5, 10, that's almost 15 furnaces. This is quite handy. Blueprints, give me this one. Is this the right side? I can't tell. Yep, that one's got the power wires that way. So we should be able to just plop that down there. And this thing is awkward as all hell. But there we go. Ah, no. Okay, so I'll have to recycle a few, but that was pretty handy and pretty fast. And we've got the blue pit ready to go when more gold comes online. Okay, that's enough of that. I gotta go pack. This I think worked out quite nicely. I think I'm gonna come back and have to do a little bit more playing around with this one. It's just we haven't got far enough down the tech tree, and I do have to start bringing in colonists to actually do some of the researching and stuff. I think I figured out what I should have been doing. We have brought in some colonists, and yeah, they are sauntering rather slowly across. Seriously, you have jetpacks just like us. Just start moving. Then what we're going to do is we're turning them all into scientists. And then those scientists should pop in here and start doing sciencey stuff. That should allow us to knock out some of the other tech, which should give us access to some better stuff for dealing with all of that junk over there. And there's just so much technology I still have to get into. I was really hoping this would be a lot shorter, but hey, I think there's probably about another 10 hours of gameplay in this. Anyway, I'm going to cut this out here. I'll be back next Monday with more Oxygen Not Included, and I think I'm going to have to squeeze in a little bit of Astro Colony somewhere next week as well. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it. Good luck,